Ultimately, the policy intent is there to make Australian businesses more competitive at a global scale, rewarding companies for doing research and development and innovative work in an area of science, technology or engineering. And I sometimes describe them as the wow factor and the headache factor, right?
So your consultancy firm is predominantly providing R&D tax advice. Give us a bit of an overview what R&D is and how does it work in Australia?
Generally speaking, out of the book, R&D tax incentive, it's largely considered, the government's flagship program for funding and rewarding companies for doing research and development and innovative work in an area of science, technology or engineering. It's an extremely established program. Ultimately, the policy intent is there to make Australian businesses more competitive at a global scale. Really reward them for that R&D, right? And also because it applies to pretty much all companies in all industries and pretty much all projects, it's extremely, the barrier to entry is very low and it's extremely broad as well. It can be a double-edged sword and we can chat about that later as well.
Yes, definitely double-edged sword.
But that's the beauty of the program, right? Now, how does it apply? In very simple terms, if you want to I don't want to dumb it down, but there are two key factors that make an R&D project R&D for this program. And I sometimes describe them as the wow factor and the headache factor, right?
I like that.
Don't quote me on that. This is not the regulations you want to take to the ATO. But you look at it this way, right? R&D projects are projects that generate new technological knowledge where the outcome of the activity or the project is unknown at the start. That's the headache. And that require you to go through a scientific method, through a structured way of solving the problems, right? So there has to be a wow factor in the sense that we're developing something new in the technological sense, something that companies would be proud of going out on the street and saying, we're developing this new jig, this new product, this new device, and it's superior. And here are the reasons for why, the wow factor. The headache factor is companies need to demonstrate that they've gone through a process of often agony and heartache and pain to get there. Why? Because it's not easy. It's hard, right? And they have to go through this process of experimenting with different approaches, right? Where we find these type of projects, that's basically when we can start having a conversation about R&D for companies.
What are some of the common applications you've done? Just a common example of R&D so the audience can get a feel for what the program is in a practical sense.
So early in my career, one of my key accounts at KPMG was Qantas, the airline.
Oh, yeah.
And it was sort of around the early 2010s, 11s, they were developing this next generation check-in system, which is basically what we all use when we go and fly now, where you tap in and you put your suitcase on the scale and it just automatically does everything.
Yeah, I
right?
love that. It's
Absolutely.
So good.
Now imagine writing that up as an R&D project, as an R&D consultant. So that's what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
And they were dealing with all sorts of different, technical challenges from, writing the firmware, from building the hardware to testing different sensors to actually sense, to scan the cards, to sense the weight of the suitcase, the size of it, the dimension, whether it actually sits on the conveyor belt, and everything else, right? So sometimes they even become bigger, and helping also then business owners to understand what we're doing, or some of the stuff that we're doing is actually R&D, and we should take use of the program.